going to run a scenario by you. Maybe it'll sound familiar. You've been carnivore for a while, strict carnivore. You followed all the advice you've gotten from trustworthy sources about how to eat a proper human diet. You've had a lot of the side effects, or the good side effects of becoming carnivore. Your teeth are cleaner suddenly, so you don't feel the need to necessarily brush 3 times a day, as some people report. I do not advise that, by the way, to be clear, but you don't have to, do this, go to the same levels of oral hygiene that you used to do. You've probably started using a fluoride-free toothpaste, as is often recommended in these groups. You've noticed that your hair grows a little more slowly in a good way. You've noticed maybe that color in your hair has come back. You've noticed more energy, faster healing, all these other things that people commonly report on the carnivore diet. Life is going great. You feel like a new person, that you finally found what you're looking for. You even lost a few pounds. Maybe the weight is coming off slowly, but it is coming off. And you see that this is an eminently sustainable diet. It's a wonderful thing. And then one morning, you're doing your due diligence in the bathroom. You're brushing your teeth and flossing. And for the first time in years, you start having bleeding gums. And then all the whispering of the naysayers that you have pushed out of your mind because all the sources you trust tell you that you can't get scurvy on a carnivore diet, suddenly the whispering in the back of your mind comes back. Oh no, is this scurvy? No, it's not scurvy. Probably not scurvy. There is no documented case of anyone on the carnivore diet getting scurvy. Not a single case. Not a documentation from a medical professional. Plenty of people out there self-diagnosing themselves and putting it up on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, but from professionals, not a single documented case of getting scurvy. If you're worried about getting scurvy on a carnivore diet, don't be worried about that. You get plenty of vitamin C just eating beef. You can meet your vitamin C needs very, very easily. And I'm going to put up a couple different images on the screen here that I pulled from Nutrition with Dr. Judy Cho's website. You should go check her site out. She's very good, very, very good. In fact, I'd love to get her on the channel to have a conversation about some of the more complicated sides of the nutrition and micronutrient issues in the carnivore space. And because she's very good at explaining things in a way that anybody listening can understand, and she doesn't dumb it down either. She just is good at communicating. It's amazing. But you can get these things. You can get vitamin C. It exists in trace amounts in the muscle meat of beef and in lamb and other ruminant animals, because meat from ruminant animals is the most nutritious, nutriently dense food on the planet. You can meet all of your nutrient needs basically eating that, and maybe on occasion a little bit of organs here and there on occasion. If you feel the need, especially these days where illness is typically kind of still in a lot of people's minds, or as we are in a cold and flu season, and you want to boost your immune system, you don't need only vitamin C, you also need vitamin D, but you can get that in abundance from egg yolks and from butter. So you're fine, along with the muscle meat that you can find in beef. But if you still need vitamin C, there are other animal sources, and I'll just put them on the screen here for you so you can see where they're coming from. I've done whole videos on this before, but where you can find vitamin C in the animal world. I don't want to really repeat myself too much here, but if you don't object to the occasional organ meat, you can get it from what gets called sweetbreads. That's usually how they're marketed. They're like a gland in the cow. The easiest ones to get are beef ones, and they have like what the USDA recommends, something like 40% in a 3-ounce serving, and has a consistency of fat. And you probably don't even need that much vitamin C. And here's why: the USDA recommendations for a typical person are essentially them throwing a dart at a target. They're just hoping to get close to what's real. They usually are overshooting things, in fact, for most things. But really, at the core of their recommendations, not really making a lot of sense for most people anyway, is that vitamin C competes with glucose to be absorbed by the body. Those parts of your body that will absorb vitamin C will first go for sugar, which is why like the worst things you can eat for vitamin C are oranges or drinking orange juice. You'd be much better off if you're doing keto and still eating plants for some reason, you would be much better off getting it from broccoli, which has almost no sugar in it compared to, say, an orange. But really, the amounts you need from muscle meat, or that you get from muscle meat, will more than adequately meet your needs, especially since the typical carnivore is getting 1.5 to 2 pounds of meat a day. So there is no real issue here, because what you need to fend off scurvy is something like 10 milligrams of vitamin C a day, which isn't much at all. In fact, it's 8 ounces according to Dr. Cho's website. 8 ounces is going to provide you like a third of your daily requirement, and you're eating probably more than that of beef every single day. If your gums are bleeding, or you're having other signs, toothaches and things, start looking to see first if you're a strict carnivore or not. If you're not strict, you're just looking at some fruits and honey and these other things that people try to find a way to fit in. None of this advice applies to you, because you're consuming sugar, and your body will choose sugar and other, glucose especially, over vitamin C for absorption. That might be where you should start. But at a more basic level, did you fall for some of the weird memes you see in the carnivore space that says you don't have to brush your teeth anymore on carnivore? There's a lot of stupid advice out there. Don't take your advice from memes usually. That's usually a bad idea. No matter how good the advice is from people, if their advice begins with or includes anywhere in it stop basic oral hygiene, don't listen to that person. So brush your teeth. Go floss your teeth. Do it regularly. That'll probably do more to get rid of any gum bleeding you might have than anything else. And a common thing you'll find among carnivores, people who do it, is we all mostly start noticing that we have to pull meat out of our teeth more often than we used to. If you think about it for half a second, it makes sense why. Because we're eating a lot more meat than a lot of other people do. And meat likes to get stuck between our teeth. It just happens, especially if you have a history of having, dental work done. I've got a filling in the back, one of my molars, and years ago they had to go drill pretty deep to get rid of a cavity, and they had to shave a little bit off the side of the tooth, and lo and behold, I've got a space between my teeth in the back that I have to every single day, multiple times a day usually, go and clean. It's just part of my daily routine. Otherwise, if I didn't, I would have toothaches, bleeding gums, all those things. So before you think that you've gotten scurvy eating nothing but meat, get your dental hygiene on point. Back in the age of exploration, the people who didn't get scurvy on ships were the officers. And you know why they didn't get the scurvy? Because they had access to the freshest meat. That's why. It was the crew who were eating the hardtack mostly, who were eating the carbs as their main source of food, who got scurvy. And do you know what the solution to their scurvy was before we had access to oranges and fruit, the ability to store fruit for long periods of time? It was fresh meat. That was their solution. It's probably not the meat giving you bleeding gums, and it's probably not scurvy. Instead, eat your red meat, eat it in peace. You'll be happy. And brush your freaking teeth, okay? Floss your teeth, okay? We can argue about what kind of toothpaste you need to use, or floss, or whatever, but at the end of the day, get your oral hygiene on point, and that'll probably take care of the problem. Let me know in the comments if you've had issues with bleeding gums in the past on carnivore, and if you found that just doing what your dentist always tells you to do took care of the problem or not. And let me know if you've seen people out there making weird claims about suddenly, the reason they stopped doing carnivore was because they got scurvy. I've never encountered the person who got scurvy. Yeah, I hear whispers of somebody out there saying that kind of silly stuff. They probably weren't getting scurvy. Okay. But let me know if you know of anybody who did in the comments, please. And like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help, as does sharing this on social media. That helps a lot too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore. Thanks for tuning in today.